Hello and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to this week's reading vlog. So I'm excited for this week. One thing I'm going to say, the light is so beautiful today. I don't love rainy days all the time, but they do make for that natural, beautiful glow when you're filming. You know what I'm talking about if you film all the time. They say an overcast day is the best day to take photographs and things like that because of that. So anyway, it is the first day post Light versus Dark romance read-a-thon, and it was so much fun. Thank you to everyone who participated. This was the first read-a-thon that I ever put together, and I couldn't have done it without my girls at the Romance Takeover crew, whatever we're calling ourselves. But the fact that on another romance channel, people are mentioning our read-a-thon and talking about us makes me so happy, because I just feel like there's something so special about our small romance team right now. And I'm just so excited about what Booktube is going to look like a year from now, with all these romance booktubers really starting to get out there and share, because romance is the #1 selling genre out there. And it has been for a really long time. And taking away the stigma, taking away the shame from it, is just so exciting to me. I love it so much. So what's happening this week? Well, this week I'm considering my first week of May. So I have a few things I need to get through. I need to start Shatter Me, and preferably I'd like to read this all pretty quickly. I don't want to drag it out, but I'm intimidated to start this because I know this is a really long series. The final book just came out. A lot of people really love it, a lot of people really hate it, and I'm always someone who's in the middle, and I want to give it its fair shake. Thankfully, so many of the things I've heard about it over the years, I only really remember a little bits of it. That's one of the reasons I don't mind knowing spoilers, because I tend to forget everything as soon as I start reading a book. But this one is, how many pages is this one? This one's, oh wow, this is done really weird. Wow, it's not that long. This has the Destroy Me novella in here as well. So I guess it's actually only 300 pages. So, well, that's helpful. That makes me feel better about it. This is also the book we're buddy reading in my Discord. Some people who started it already aren't having a great time with it, which doesn't make me feel excited. There's been a few months of not great picks for me so far, and that's frustrating, but also it's me just trying to read what you guys want me to read. And don't ever feel bad about which one you vote on. If it's one you want to read with me or one you want me to read, vote for it. Sometimes they've been some of the best books ever, but a lot of times it ends up being ones that people have heard of or want to read, and I just don't always fall in with the hype with stuff. But I'm ready to give this one a try. We'll see. Also, I want to finish Well of Ascension this week, because I want to start The Way of Kings. And I didn't want to be doing 2 Sandersons at the same time. I am about halfway through the audiobook. I've been listening to 2 or 3 hours of it a day, so I might even speed it up a little bit more. It's almost at the top. I don't know how some people listen to books at 3 times speed or 2 times speed. For me, I start to not to be able to comprehend when we get past 1.5. So I do speed up to 1.5, but I'm just not at the place that other readers are where they can listen at a 3.0 speed. I don't even understand. But I may try speeding it up just a little bit more to get through it faster, because it is a lot of political stuff right now, which I was warned about. And I'm still interested enough in it, but I would like to get it moving. So also this week, Unforgettable by Melanie Harlow came out, which I started yesterday. That is the 5th and final book in the Cloverleaf series, which I love. This one is I wouldn't even call it a second chance romance, because they didn't really have a romance before. April, who is she's the second oldest daughter. She had a child at 18 with a man who went off to be a Major League Baseball star. And now it's 18 years later. The child that they had is turning 18, and April wants to send a letter, and Travis is back in town for his sister's wedding. And so they both now have just run into each other, and obviously there's going to be something happen. I don't know how I feel about it so far. It's a hard story to dive into. I have total sympathy for someone who has to give up their child because situations aren't what they would want them to be when they're 18. I think that is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. It's a brave thing to do, to make that decision. That's not selfish, to give up a child so that they could be loved better than you can do it. But it's a hard story to read for me. It's a hard story to read for me, reading it from the side of the person who had to give up the child. So I didn't plow through it in one day like I have with the other Cloverleaf books. So, but I'm planning that I'll probably read it today or tomorrow. Also, there's some new releases today that I'll probably go pick up. Aurora Burning is out, which is on my TBR, as well as a couple other books that came out on May 5th as well. So I'll be going to pick those up soon. I'm going to go to Barnes & Noble over my lunch break. So I'll do that. And then I'll have new books to do. It's also already time to like do a book haul again because I did a book outlet order and I picked up like a crap ton more books because I am a lunatic. I'm a lunatic, guys. I'm a lunatic. But yeah, that's everything that's on the list. Of course, also Sierra Simone's newest book in the Taboo Orgy series came out, and I'm a sucker, and I had to buy it because I've read the other two, and I now understand Sierra Simone a little bit better too, so that's another reason why I'm more into it, because back when I read the first Thorn Chapel book, it was the first book of hers I'd ever read, and I didn't understand Sierra Simone at all. And now I understand her better, having read a lot more of her books. And she always has something deeper that she's trying to say. She's not just writing smut for smut's sake. They're always really like powerful stories. So I'm going to give it a better try this time. So yeah, that is the setup for this week. We'll see how everything goes. I'm very excited by some of these books. So here we go. Well, hey. Oh, wow. Don't I look great? Isn't that fun? Let's hold you up here so you don't have to see my everything. So it's Wednesday. I've had a few fun developments. Number one, I found a cool new app, which I'll show you. My girls at the Romance Takeover Squad, one of them mentioned it. And actually, you can track your reading by like pages per minute. Basically, there's like a timer. You enter what book you're reading, how many pages it is, and then like how many pages you read in that time. And then it like tracks everything for you, and you like, which is so cool because, I mean, you guys know how much I read. It'll be really cool to see this at the end of a month and then like see what I truthfully do, which is kind of exciting to me. I finished a couple books this week already, of course. Let's see. Oh, I just finished Harvest of Sighs today, which is the third book in the Thorn Chapel series by Sierra Simone. And it tried and succeeded at ripping my heart out, which is what Sierra does best. When she has series, though, I'm not gonna lie, I know her pattern of, especially when there's a tumultuous relationship, with most of hers have, there's usually always some BDSM in there. This one didn't have an orgy in it, but this one has like a menage relationship, and it has a female-female dom sub relationship. And the menage, which we were just getting introduced to in the previous book, has some issues that it goes through, and it just made me so mad. And so the fourth book, which is called The Door of Bruises, comes out on Halloween, because aren't you fun, Sierra Simone, having your weird twisted series end on Halloween? Ugh. But it was so good. I just get sucked right back into her stuff. I love her so much. And she writes BDSM so good. So good. So often I read it from the point of view of this. There's just something about Arden. He reminds me of Ash, who, if you've read her new Camelot series, which is also a menage, and I love him, and I'm sad for him, and I'm frustrated with the choices they're making. But anyway, so yeah, I started Shatter Me, and I think I'm going to like it a lot, and I'm excited about that because I'm a glutton for punishment, and I like really shitty men, apparently, because Warner has my lady feels happening already, and he's not a nice dude, and I'm here for it. And I'm trying not to look up spoilers because I'm only 100 pages in, but I'm definitely going to be reading more of this. I'm going to try to finish this one pretty quickly. But I'm really trying to finish Echo in the Bone. So I'm 500 out of 800 pages into it. So I have 300 pages left. I usually can knock out 100 to 150 pages each time I read it. And I really want to get this book done this week because I've been reading it for 6 weeks already. And that's usually my limit for an Outlander book. I like to move on after that. So there's a checkup for you. I think I literally have my ice cream on my lips during this whole thing. That's great. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, just stopping in for an update. It's Saturday morning. Super rainy outside, but it's gonna make for a super cozy day, and at least it's not snow. We were being threatened with snow, and I was like, are you serious this time of year? Is this really something we have to worry about? Like, come on. My friend spent the night, so that's why I'm talking a little bit quieter. That happens sometimes. It's also the morning of the last episode of Outlander for the season comes out tonight, and I'm planning to film my review right after the episode's over, just because I want it to, I want to be able to edit it that night, so that I can get it uploaded, because those videos take a lot of time to upload, because they're very large files when I talk for an hour about books. So I'm expecting to be up pretty late tonight and to have a lot of feelings, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm just chilling out. My friend will be getting up soon, and I'm gonna make her some brunch, and then we're gonna watch Big Bang Theory, because her and I have been watching that show together for the last couple years. I've already seen the whole show, but we were looking for a comedy to watch together where we could just have fun, because we usually watch pretty serious things, and that's been a really fun thing to do with her. It's just we haven't had as much time because we've been super busy. So yeah, that's basically what's happening today. She has to go home at 2 this afternoon, and then I'm gonna dive in to some reading. I want to try to finish up The Well of Ascension, because I want to get started on The Way of Kings, and I don't want to be reading both Sandersons at the same time. I want to get started on My American Duchess, which was my historical romance pick from you guys for this month. Man, this one came out a while ago now, and I still hadn't read it. It has a really interesting premise. It's about this woman who's jilted 2 other husbands, and she's an American heiress, which obviously that's the title of the book, And then there's a lord who is determined. Let's see what it says. So she's already betrothed to a third, and she's vowed to make it to the altar this time. But now she finds someone that she really has chemistry with. And so will she jilt a third person to be with this guy? And if she does, will it work? So that's kind of a cool premise. So I'm going to try to read that today. Also, I'm in the middle of, here's my Kindle. I'll tell you. I forgot which one I'm in the middle of. It's another student teacher, but this one's a college one, and she's his TA, which is kind of fun. This one's called Damaged, which by H.M. Ward, which I guess is actually the start of a series about like an Italian gang family or something. But this one's a student teacher, so that's fun. So that's kind of what's going on right now. I'll check back in with you to wrap everything up tomorrow. Now I've got to film one other video right now. So talk to you later. Hey guys, I am just going to wrap up the week real quick. It was a wonderful week. Holy crap. I'm a little bit dazed. I stayed up late last night to do the Outlander finale, and then I just reviewed it right away. Sorry, that's bad lighting. Let's do that. And so I was up till 1 o'clock filming it and then getting it uploaded so that this morning I didn't have to do all that, because that process takes a couple hours and I'd rather it did it while I was sleeping so that I can do the live premieres with you guys, because those have been really fun. Which will already be over by the time you see this, but it's cool. So let's talk about everything I read this week. I will talk about the ones that I really liked the best. So I did end up reading this duology called Daddy Issues by Seth King. This is a male-male age gap romance, and it's actually a former stepfather romance. So this guy, back when he first came out, he was married to this one woman for like 2 years, and they never did have sex or even live together, because as soon as they got married, it was right around the time that he was like trying to come out, but he thought that if he married a woman that it would work. So he married a woman to be his beard, and then regretted it. And so they ended up getting divorced after that. And so now it's 10 years later, and his former stepson, and remember, didn't grow up with this guy, only was married to his mom for 2 years, didn't really see him during that time because he lived with his father. There is the death of his former mother-in-law, who his former mother-in-law always really loved him. And so he goes back for this funeral and he re-meets his former stepson, and they instantly are attracted to each other. But they have this super like forbidden romance, and it's like a 20-year age gap in there. But he is 24 or 22 or something like that. And it's also, there was a lot of angst, and it was good, but it also was really frustrating, because I think the level of angst that there was didn't correlate to the fact that they're totally old enough. Totally not. I mean, part of it too is that this guy's pretty famous. So there's like, when people find out that it's his former stepson, it's weird. But I don't know. I liked it, but I ended up only giving I gave the first one 4.5 stars because I really like that. And then the second one I only gave 3.5 stars because them not working out just kept dragging on and on and on. But the first one was very good and had just the right amount of angst. And then it just got kind of old, and I didn't like that. Then a book that I loved, gave 5 stars, was Burnout by Coralie June. This was suggested to me during the live show for Light vs. Dark Read-a-thon, romance read-a-thon. And it is a student-teacher romance. And it is not really an age gap one, though, because I'm considering these 2 different categories. To me, there's like, this is more taboo because it is a teacher-student, not because the age gap, because she was like held back a year. She's actually 18 going on 19. and he is 23. So they're not that much different in age. And it's actually this girl who, her mother dies, and her older brother had been given up for adoption, and she reaches out to him and gets to know him, and he actually invites her to come live with him. And he lives, currently he lives with his best friend, who's a teacher, because the guy, his name is Decker, his house is getting remodeled, and so he is living with his friend for this time. And Decker is super protective of Lance, is his name, and so he kind of warns this girl off right away and is like, hey, you better not be here to take advantage of your brother, because he's my best friend and I got his back. And they have a slow burn, super sexy relationship, and she has a lot of drama going on because of her father, and yeah, but it was so good. I don't want to say anything else because I'll spoil it. The one thing that held it back a little bit, which it was going to hold it back for me, and then I found out the reasoning behind it and I really liked it, but the man in this case is really, really holding back. Like, he is just, how do I say it? I can't even think, but he's just very resistant to tell anyone, and not the school. Like, he's very resistant to tell people in their lives that they're together. And I'm never a huge fan when, like, the guy doesn't want to tell people. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm never a huge fan when a guy doesn't want to tell people. But when you're dealing with student-teacher, there's always a reason why you don't want people to find out. And number two, like I said, once you find out his full reason for not wanting to tell their loved ones, you'll understand. So I really like Burnout. And then I talked about it. I read Harvest of Sighs. I gave this 4.5 stars. I love Sierra Simone. She's great. That's the third book in a series, so I won't say too much about it, except that there are orgies and menages, and it's great. And then I finished this Butte, which the review for this is already up. It went up on Saturday. This is the 7th Outlander book. It's so good, and I'm having to restrain myself from reading the 8th book, but I'm not quite ready to read that yet because that's the last one in the big book series. So I'm actually going to start 7 Stones to Stand or Fall, which has 7 short stories that fit into it. And I'm now past the point, because once you get past An Echo in the Bone, you can like read all of those and know where they fit in. So I'm going to do that. And then other things, I didn't end up finishing Well of Ascension, but I'm almost there. I just have like 150 pages left. Well, I guess there's 200 pages left, so there's a good amount of time left. And then I did start Shatter Me, which I said, which I'm digging. This is what I'm going to try to read today. I'm going to try to get through a good chunk, because this is actually all of the book, because this is a novella. So yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a good week. So I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching this. I put up new videos 3 to 4 times a week, and you can watch some more of them right now.